Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm still on Cape Cod. This time it's a beach and wetland area in the town of Yarmouth on the north shore of the Central Cape. And it's kind of a gray day. It's been drizzly, actually been raining and whatnot since last night. It's gray and slightly drizzling right now. You know, and I'm kind of looking, since it is kind of a gray, dreary day, I'm looking at what are probably going to be gray, dreary landscapes. If not dreary, perhaps even dramatic. I mean, right now I'm looking at this moss-covered tree right behind me, and I'm thinking that's going to make a good subject for my first image from this location. There's a shore is right across, right ahead of me, so I'm probably going to head over there because it's a long pier. But I think I'm going to first take this image right here, and I'll set it up and I'll tell you what I'm looking at. So, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a sucker for gnarly trees, and this is a very gnarly tree hanging over the glen right there. Actually, what makes it look even more gnarly is all the lichen and moss that's hanging off of it. And I think that the green of that moss contrasts nicely with the red of the flowers that are starting to bloom, or actually fresh leaves that are also starting to sprout on that tree. So I've got this thing framed up to just capture the arch of that tree. Now I've got my camera mounted fairly high because I don't want to catch any sky. There's a very high light sky, so I've got fortunately my tripod, as you can see, is overhead height, and it's also fortunate that my camera, the R5, has a fully articulated screen. Otherwise, I'd have to be, trying to compose off the live view there, and it would be a little bit of a difficulty to see it properly. But with the screen that I can turn in pretty much any direction, I can see this pretty well. So my settings right now, with the polarizer mounted, are f11, 4/10 of a second, ISO 100. And I've got the polarizer on there because even though it's a cloudy sky, there's a lot of ambient light that reflects polarized light onto the scene. And as I rotate it around, it's going to reveal more or less color by cutting down some of the reflections. So I'm going to make that a little adjustment right now. And now I'm going to trigger it with my 2-second timer. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm going to reframe it a couple of times, and then you're going to see the final result or results right now. Well, I must say, I think I'm pretty happy with this composition. I got several different variations, and you've probably seen one or two of them at this point. So I'm going to move on now and see what else we can find. Well, the weather's starting to turn a little bit south. The rain is picking up slightly, so I put both cameras in raincoats, as you can see. Something like this, this cost me $5, for 2 of these, but you can get a shower cap and do the same thing. Even though the cameras are pretty well weather sealed, no need taking unnecessary chances in the rain. So I've got a composition here that basically is going to be very minimalistic. It's really about the rocks, the trees that are on the shore, and the little inlet, outlet, I should say, that little peninsula. But in this boulder here, just adds a little bit of interest. I'm not sure if this composition is really going to work, but we'll give it a shot. So this composition has this boulder and the trees with they're slightly reflecting into the bay there. I've got 6-stop ND filter because I want to try and smooth the water out as much as I can, and also I'm having a polarizer on so I can maximize the view of the pebbles that are just around the boulder and leading up to the trees. I'm going to take 2 exposures to focus that because of the distance between the boulder, which is only like 3 feet in front of the camera, and the trees that are about 100 yards away. So this is shot number 1. And you'll see my final composition right now. So behind me you can see this composition, which basically is just built around the leading line of the pier as it leads out to the water a couple hundred yards out. There's really nothing much going on with this composition, so it's really going to be about the contrast of lines and where the pier seems to meet with the horizon. It doesn't actually, but the way it's set up, it kind of looks that way. So I'm going to build that into the composition. I've got my polarizer and my 6-stop filter on here, again, to make the water as smooth as possible and try and cut down or maybe even accentuate the reflections as I turn the thing around. Okay, so I've set the polarizer to actually maximize the reflections. I think that'll make the water look even smoother and really make the composition even more minimalist than it would have been otherwise. So I'm going to take several images, at least 3. My exposures right now are f11 at 5 seconds. And that's going to be the same for each exposure. So I'm going to take the first one here. And you'll see the final result right now. Oh, I think I kind of like that. I think this last set of images is going to work out pretty well, and I think that's going to be a good note to actually leave this area, since again the weather's kind of foul and I'm getting kind of cold. All right, I'm going to be here in Cape Cod at least one more day, and hopefully that'll give me at least some good images for the next time. And if you liked what you've seen and you want to see more, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and please give me a like and a comment with any thoughts that you have about this video. Thanks for coming around, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So if you've been watching my channel for a length noise. Construction crew. Well, I must say I think I'm pretty happy with this buzzsaw.